Recording. Good morning. Hello. So this video is a long time coming. I should have been doing these for the past like 2 weeks or however long it's been since my last video. This is the Titan build. Exciting stuff. I have built quite a considerable amount of the Titan already. And I keep thinking that I'm going to stop and do like a review of what I've done. And so far I haven't done that because it's like go time. We gotta go fast. You know, I'm very, very keen to get this Titan built and painted, and you know, just it's exciting. And but this one of the other reasons why I haven't done videos on it is that my setup, as you can see, there's about, you know, that's the camera there, so like that much of space. It's difficult to get a Titan under that kind of space, so it's hard. And my setup isn't ideal for making, like, I don't know, sitting in front of the camera talking kind of videos. But this should be, this should be fine. This is the Titan head, which is a pretty exciting part anyway. So, the Titan build is going well. Let's just say it is going pretty damn well. It's been a lot of fun. A heck of a lot of fun. So far we've done the legs, the torso. I've built both weapons, the shoulder mounted, not the shoulder mounted, the arm weapons. Yeah, and we've been playing around with magnets and stuff. I will try and do a review. I will try and get one done. There's another video actually I've made. I just haven't posted it yet. Coffee, delicious coffee. There's another video I've made, which was repairing the Titus statue, which I made quite a while ago. The Weta Workshop Titus statue. What are we starting with? Right. So I need to get that put out as well. It's just all my hobby time that I've got. I have just been kind of dedicated to doing this. Oh, that's a lie. That's a total lie. I did do one thing. I put these together. Yeah. These are my movement trays, so they needed gluing. So I glued them. I spent about an hour doing that yesterday. That's for the tournament on Saturday. I'm laughing because it's just ridiculous what I'm doing. I'm going to this RTT on Saturday. I can't remember if I said it in a previous video. But the RTT, I've decided, listen, when I try hard these things, I generally lose anyway. I'm always sort of in the bottom tables. I maybe come home with 1 or 2 wins. And that's after having to talk out. You know, talk it out because I'm overthinking everything. I am guilty of always overthinking problems. So I've decided to take a fun list. So I'm taking my firstborn battle company, which is 100 Marines, 6 tactical, 2 assault. Unfortunately, it's assault intercessors with jump packs, but I'm using my custom assault Marines, my firstborn. I've never had a problem bringing them before. No one's objected yet, and if they do, well, they're entitled to the win. I'll give it to them. And yeah, and 2 Devastators, all 10 man, obviously. And then what else? I've got 2 Rhinos, a Dreadnought, one of the old box knots, and a Captain, and that's my list. Oh, and a drop pod, and that's my list. 1,995 points, all in Angel Siege Force. You know, the Imperial Fist one, because it's got some really nice OC boosting, and I figure that's how I'm going to win it. I'm not really going to win the games, but if I was going to stand a chance of winning, basically shoving all these tactical marines on objectives, hoping that they survive enough that I can then boost their OC to bring home wins. I'm taking fixed objectives for cleanse and deploy locust, or whatever it's called. So yeah, the plan is just to finish. That's my goal, is to get through all 5 rounds and get to the end. So that's what the movement trays are to help me do. Very excited about it, I'll be honest. RTTs, every time I go to one, I'm like, I'm not doing that again. And then I forget how painful it is, and then I sign up to one. That's generally, I mean, I say every time. I think this is going to be my 3rd. I've not really done much in the way of that, but yeah, other than that, it's been Titan, go-go. Which is, I know it's March, and every March I take part in, started by Nick Baton of Warhammer, the Warhammer community team, a month of celebrating Ultramarines, and I generally take part in that, but I haven't really. I mean, the Titan is kind of taking part of it, because it's Legio Praesagius, and, you know, they're based in Ultramar, pretty near Macragge, on the moon of Gantz, which orbits the planet Conor, which is part of Ultramar. I'm actually called the Titan. I've settled on a name, the Pride of Ultramar, which is kind of like, I'm sure it'll draw some eyebrows, because people will be, one, you didn't call it something like, you know, Deus whatever, or what's that big famous one? The Chaos one from Mortis? De Profunde or something? I don't know. If you know the one I'm talking about, you can leave it in the comments. What was it called? Days something? I don't know. Let me know. It's in Storm of Iron as well. Anyway, the point is, everyone names their Titans something in Latin, and I haven't. But in one of the books, or the audio drama, I can't remember where exactly, one of the warlords that was brought down defending a planet called Calth, which is a big famous war zone during the Horus Heresy and other places. But Legio Praesagius, they defended that planet, and one of the warlords was called Pride of Conor. That was brought down, so I was like, that's interesting. So they're not all Latin named. So I was like, right. I was going to go with Pride of Gantz, but yeah, didn't really like it too much. I was going to go with Pride of Conor again, because, you know, you can reuse these names. But in the end, Pride of Ultramar, that's what we've gone for. And I've had a banner commissioned from a fella in America. It looks awesome. I'd show you some pictures, but every time I say, oh, I'm going to splice in some pictures, I never get round to it. So you'll have to see it when it arrives. I've also got some really cool transfers coming from Japan. Some Legio Praesagius transfers, which were cheap, but then I ended up buying loads of them, so they weren't too cheap in the end. I can't remember what the point of that story was, but anyway, I'm very excited about the Titan. It looks super cool at this point. If you do follow me, if you've got Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, you can chuck me a follow over there. It's @4Macragge, and I have been posting pictures of the Titan build there. I do need to make videos. I'm well aware that it's a pretty exciting project, building a Titan, especially a Warlord. And I could have been doing so many cool videos, you know, showcasing the parts and the difficulty, the challenges that I've had. And boy, have there been some challenges. But like I said, it's getting the camera angle. I need to get a new setup. Maybe I should ask somebody. I do talk, there's a fella that stays relatively near me, actually. I say relatively, he's about an hour and a half away. 2 hours, maybe. Who has a YouTube channel. You probably already know him anyway, if you're following my channel. He gave me a big shout out in the early days. Called BA, the BA Commander, Blood Angels Commander. He's got a great setup. Maybe I'll ask him how he does it, because he's got plenty of room to film and stream and everything. Yeah, that's looking all right. This is the Warhammer World exclusive head. I actually bought it like last year or something. Last March when I went down. I try and go every March for their store anniversary. And I bought it thinking it was a diorama. They had it like set up at the till. It was like in a big box. And the head, the top was off. And it looked great. And I was like, oh, that would be cool. And it turned out it wasn't. It was just the actual Warlord head. I used to get shit for it as well. Some of the guys that I play with in the Discord, they were like, you know, what did you buy that for? That was stupid, you know? Well, not stupid now, is it? I had to buy the rest. I had to buy the rest of the model to justify owning the £80 head. That's funny. Oh, dear. Sniffling this morning, that's not a good sign. I've been feeling pretty rough recently, actually. Yeah. Not that anyone wants to hear about that, but yeah, I'm wondering if it's the fact that I've not been looking after my health particularly well with this Titan. You know, all these little bits and stuff. I do have a mask. I've actually got one. I just haven't really been wearing it. Where is it? You know, I've got one of these respiratory things. But I figure I'm in a pretty big open space anyway. And I'm not talking. I'm not talking to myself, but what was I doing? I was doing some bit. I forget what bit it was. Everyone watching right now is screaming, it was this bit that you were doing, whatever it was. I can't remember. Was it this? I think so. It was one of the first bubbles I've actually noticed. Do you see that? Tiny little dot. I've had two. This is the second one, actually, not the first one. There was one on, I think it was a piece of the torso. I was like, wow, that's really, you know, it's really good. Everyone gives Forge World resin a hard time, but I have had no problems with it. Really. I'm still not sure. Oh no, look at that. That bit broke off. I'm still not too sure how I'm going to have the top, if I'm going to have it magnetized, the head, sorry. If I'm going to have it magnetized, or am I going to have it open, locked up, so it can't be opened? How am I going to position it? I guess I've got to start thinking about that a bit more seriously. I would like to be able to see the princeps. Very cool, isn't he? Look at that. Yes, my princeps. Yeah, so I'd like to have the top. I'd like to have the whole head to be removable, really. Then I could, you know, try the other heads at some day or whatever. But at the same point, I've got an idea in my head how I want to angle it. A lot of people, when they build knights, excuse me. Oh. Actually, not just knights. any model that has like a head, if you build it so like the body's here and the face is looking straight at you, it looks so lifeless and dull. And I don't know why people do it, but I always, when I build it, I mean, you can kind of see it with this guy, right? Even his head is slightly facing this way. And his body is slightly tilted. It just brings it more, it's more real. Whereas you look at these guys, and they're not supposed to, but they're just like straightforward and static. So when people build these Warlord Titans, because it's on like a ball jocket, but it kind of fits into like a socket on the neck, and they just slam it in and have it straight, and it looks so lifeless. So I'm planning on angling the head slightly to one side with the gun pointing in the same direction. But that does mean that magnetizing becomes an issue. I mean, you could put a magnet like off center, but we'll come to that later. For now, let's just get this built. Right, so left side is not that part. And everyone, incidentally, gives like Forge World instructions a hard time, but they're all right. You know, they're not bad. What more do you need? So we're looking for a roundy bit with a pipey bit. Roundy bit with a pipey bit. I think it's this one. And that just kind of... Oh, there you go. Slots in. Like that. We're going to need to do some... I'm going to need to do some sanding. A lot of the time when you see people build these, like, you know, the professional builders and whatnot, people that can do commissions, they'll go really hog at making sure they're all exact and precise and all the rest of it. When I did my Astreas, I started like that, and I realized I didn't need to. Like, you're not going to see these gaps. These gaps are not going to be seen by anyone. And even if they are, you're like 3 foot away on a Titan that's 2 foot tall. You know, you don't need to get it watertight. But stuff like that needs to come off, because that will probably impact this part here. When it comes in, oh, we've got some more. That's got to come off. Yeah. All right, let's work on... We'll slice off some of this at the moment. My listings, the rosters got posted for my tournament last night. So I've been paired up against Creations of Bile Chaos Space Marine list. And seeing it, I was like, oh, I'm so screwed. The thing is, none of the lists I think that would have been posted would have made me feel any better. I am well aware my list is not, like, optimal, put it that way. It's just a bit of fun. I don't want it to be boring for the other person. Like, that's the other thing I've got. Like, I get that my opponent, when they look at my list, is probably going to be like, oh, great, okay, I've got the win, that's fine. But I don't want them to be like, you know, I've paid £30 to come to this tournament and someone is dicking around, not even trying. So, like, I am trying to win. You know? I'm not trying to win. I do have a game plan and everything, and I think there's a chance I could win them. Like, and I am studying for it, I guess you could even call it. Like, one of the other issues I've had in previous tournaments is I've gone there trying to learn my list, and I've tried to build a competitive list, and that's kind of what my focus has been on. Whereas now, I've got my list nice and simple. I've not tried to game it. I've not tried to power game it or anything. And I'm just trying to learn it, make sure that I know it inside and out. Like, it's all, you know, toughness 4, 2 wound, move 6, 3+ armor save. You know, the stat line of a bolter: 2 shots, strength 4, no AP, 1 damage. 7 of them in a tactical squad, although I'll be combat squadding them. There's 2 missiles, 2 las cannons, plasma, heavy plasma, and a multi-melter is the heavy weapons. All the sergeants are equipped with combi weapons, which I would have to look that up right now, but I believe it's hitting on 4s, strength 4, but it's anti-infantry 4, devastating wounds, so automatically 1 damage on a 4+, or mortal wound anyway. So it's, you know, it's simple, memorable, like, and hopefully in the heat of the moment I won't forget. And the other good thing, this is not actually done on purpose, but the movement, although, you know, all the Marines are movement 6, the Dreadnought's movement 6, the Rhino's movement 12, and the Assault Intercessors are movement 12. So that's a happy coincidence. So only if it's not 6, it's 12. So that makes things simpler as well. I've got the movement trays. You know, we should be fine. I think the big issue is going to be keeping up with the shooting. Everyone says, "Oh, you know, don't waste your time shooting, you know, chaff weapons," but all my weapons are chaff weapons. Also, because I've taken Anvil Siege, they actually get pretty good. Like a bolter, if you don't move, although it's strength 4, so you're wounding up to, what was that? Toughness 5, toughness 7. You're wounding on 5s, but it's +1 if you don't move, +1 to wound. So that means you're wounding up to toughness 7 on a 4+, which is pretty nice. You're wounding everything in the game on a 5+. You know, you're wounding knights on a 5+ if you don't move with the +1 to wound. So, yeah. And then your las cannons, your heavy weapons and stuff, which you might be wounded on 3s. Now you're wounded on 2s. There are some cheeky shenanigans that you can do with some of the stratagems. I think there's one that allows me to re-roll wounds, all wounds. It might just be with some kind of heavy weapon. But yeah, so basically I'll be using that on like las cannon team, the Devastators, and the multi-melters. The big problem is to get them into a position where they don't have to move without risk of them getting shot. That's the kind of problem, especially with the Devastators, because you don't really because you don't know if you're going to get turn 1 or not. You don't want to leave them out in the open, which means turn 1 they're going to have to move, so they won't get stationary. They're going to be hitting on 4s or whatever it is. They won't get the +1 to wound. At least on turn 1. So that's a big problem. Excuse me. Right, I think we're ready for some glue. Although maybe I should clean this part first. And then the Dreadnought, 135 points, twin-link las cannon. Surprisingly good in melee, actually. I think it's like 5 attacks, strength 12. You know, so it's got the possibility of tank shock. It's small, so you can hide it pretty well. It's not like a Redemptor Dreadnought or anything. and any infantry near it can reroll 1s against any target. Now, that's probably not going to come into play that often, because I'm probably going to be oath of momenting a target, and then that'll be the, you know, the one that I shoot at, so I won't need the reroll 1s, but, you know, it could be handy. I was considering, however, not deep striking, reserving it and bringing it in from like the sides or something, which is pretty much how I would do a like a Vindicator or something. I haven't decided yet. I should decide that. I mean, really, the plan at the moment is to just move it up to the center objective. Oh yeah, I'm getting a cold or something, I reckon. That's not good. That is not good. God, that'd be something, all this prune and prep work and I get a bloody cold. I need a bit more. Oh, all right. And now I'm gluing my fingers. That's okay. Wouldn't be the first time. Okay, right. Whoops. I guess I've got to hold it for a while. I do have clamps, but I don't see how I'm going to clamp that together. There we go. Stay. There we go. Oh. Easy. I think that might actually benefit from some clamping. Yeah. Right, where are they? Where are my clamps? There's one of them. So these things, awesome little tools. And we'll just... Actually, will it need clamping? Because if I put too much pressure on the front, it's just gonna buckle. Doesn't seem to be like enough glue there either, does there? No, we definitely need some glue in there. What I've been doing when this happens, putting a little dab like that, and then I've got an old file that I don't really use for anything. Where is it? Hey. I'm just kind of smushing it in there. I'm sure there's going to be some builders out there that might be watching this going, oh my God, what are you doing? Yeah, maybe I will clamp that now. Okay. So the lines just kind of disappear. Beautiful. And that'll just need a few minutes while I move on to something different. Excuse me. God, I'm really sorry about that. Look at that. That's such a cool head. I have to do some work there though. A bit there, tiny little bits, you see them really can offset the whole model. I might have to get the file out for that. Hey. I was watching, you probably know the guy, a channel called Mordian Glory. He's an Imperial Guard player. Basically, I was on YouTube looking at like tips for playing Horde armies, and I came across his channel. He seems quite a big YouTuber, but I've not really heard of him before. I've certainly not watched his stuff before. But really, really good advice for playing Horde Guard. And so, yeah, getting tons of good advice on how to move quickly and choose your objectives and whatnot. But good channel. I recommend checking him out if you haven't already. Of course, with Horde Guard, you've got a lot more bodies than 100 Marines. I think he had, what was it, 285 in his list, and he was able to bring like 20 back every turn in the video. I don't know what edition that was, but it was fairly recently, so I guess it must have been 10. And he was able to bring back all these different, guys. And obviously, I won't be able to do that. I've got my 100 dudes, and that's about it. But yeah, my game plan is fairly straightforward. So I've got 6 tactical squads. 1 will be on the home objective. Then I'll have 1 on each of the midfield objectives for 4 in total. 1 on a drop pod for 5. And then I've got a 6th that will probably go to the center, I would imagine, or any kind of like, one of the missions I'm playing has that, one's got 4 objectives, and 1 has objectives that get pulled up. It actually might be the same one. Like, you don't have, every turn you basically take away an objective. And so then the 4th one, the 4th tactical squad can go there. And then the Devastators, obviously the last cannon ones will probably be at home, or trying to find some firing lane that they can use. And the multi-Melta Devastator team will be in the other Rhino probably, and they'll be with the captain, because the captain will be giving them all the fancy little stratagems and whatnot. It was annoying because my list used to have the Ultramarines captain Uriel Ventress, but he's become a little bit competitive lately, and so he's been nerfed in points. He's gone up to like 95 points, I think it is. and I can't fit him in the list anymore. I still use the same model, but it's just a captain. And he used to be able to give deep strike, so, or he can, you know, I used to use him to give the Devastators, the multi-melta Devastators was the plan. Give them deep strike. Sadly, can't do that anymore. So that's cool as hell. Look at that. All the little dials and things. That's going to be a nightmare to paint. What I'm probably going to do, I mean, this will be sprayed like silver or something. And then dry brush. Maybe pick out a few of the details. Something on the screen. There was a great tutorial that I watched last year when I was building my Storm Raven. From Peachy, Peachy tips how to do like screens real quick. I think it was for a like a Space Hulk terrain video or something. I'm not even sure how necessary that is. Let's have a look, shall we? This is exactly what I'm meaning. Like, you can look at these things and be like, oh yeah, you know, it's not completely flat. You know, there's gaps. All right, but you're going to see them. Well, no. It doesn't matter then, does it? You see that? What's the point? These bits at the top. Kind of reminds me of my, I don't know why it does, but it reminds me of when I was learning to drive. I used to stop at traffic lights or you know, areas on a road. And, you know, you'd be checking both ways and double checking both ways. And my driving instructor used to tell me, he says, is anyone coming? And I said, no. He says, are you waiting for someone to come? So that's always stuck with me. Indecision. Just, you know, trust that what you're doing is fine. Right, that's fine. Nice. Oh, this thing is so cool. I love it. Absolutely love it. There's a big part of me that wanted to put lights in here, like LED lights, which you could do. You know, there's enough space for a battery in there and all the rest of it, but I don't know. I just want to get it painted. Right. Where's the bit that I was clamping? The clamps! Oh yeah, look at that. Hell yeah. Now that might need a bit of filling, that little line there. It wasn't so much filling as the fact that, although the back is straight, yeah, I can do a bit of filler in there, that's okay. Oof. Bit of green stuff will be fine. Right, plow on. Where's that? That connects under there. All you do is I'm just seeing where the the connections are. In there too. Okay. And under the feet. I think it'll be easier to glue from this side. There's a huge part of me that's just like, just seal it up. Then you'll never have to paint the insides. You know? I think that's a knock-on days from when I was doing the Firstborn project. You know, it was all about speed. But something that's good. You want to take your time a little bit, at least. We'll wait. We'll wait for that. doing pipes. Fit the left pipe into place at the location shown above. Then on the other side of the head, fit the right pipe. Well, thank you for that. No, nope. That must be that way then. So that goes into there. That's going to need some work. Hey, okay. I managed to catch a bit of Valrak's stream yesterday, and I don't really watch a lot of YouTube at the moment. You know, love Valrak, but I don't really watch too often. Been a while certainly, but he's doing some good. He's losing weight, and he was on the treadmill. And I just finished eating my dinner, which was I had a takeout last night because I was feeling a bit rough. Chinese, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, you know, I need to restart. I was doing really well last year, in sort of November time, right before bloody Christmas came along. So today I'm looking. The reason why I bring it up now is it's a nice day outside. I'll try and go for a hike later. Get back on it. No time like the present, eh? That's gonna need. Is that gonna need hair drying? I don't know. Maybe a bit. Oh, it certainly needs. You probably can't see that on the camera, but there's some mold lines and stuff that needs to be removed. Yeah, that's going to need work in there. Where's my knife? I need a new knife. This one's getting a bit old. I've had this since this was the new knife. 2014 or something. I think that came out. Again, I'm cleaning mold lines for no reason. No one is ever going to see that mold line. Right. Unfortunately, that means I need the hairdryer, which is going to be a pain in the arse for you guys. Where's my hairdryer? Alright, I'm sorry about this, guys. There's not much point. I mean, I can't really show you doing this because I'll end up blowing all this stuff away, so apologies. Easy life. Well, that's just enough to give it a bit of bend. Nice. A little bit there, actually, that could be removed a bit better. I've noticed that while I've been building this, there's been some issues occasionally with the glue just not sticking and it's just not working. You know, it's not doing its thing. And it struck me the other day. I was like, well, the reason why that's happening is probably because of the, you know, I haven't scrubbed the release agent off. So a little bit of a worry that I've missed parts. I mean, a model this big, of course I was going to, you know, miss areas of release agent. We're going to have to deal with that when it comes to it, which is actually rapidly closing in on the painting phase. I'm starting to get pretty damn nervous about it, I tell you. I'll have to show you the weapons. It was the, what did I build first? The Sun Fury Plasma Annihilator. And it's so freaking big. It is so big. You know, it's about the same size as a bloody Astraeus. And it's certainly more complex to paint than the Astraeus on its own. There's a really annoying little bit in there that I can't get at. I think we have to dig it with the clippers. I suppose I can use a file. You know, and that's just one weapon. My plan is I'll be effectively smashing two of my favorite painting tutorials. Unsurprisingly, both by Duncan Rhodes when he was still working for Games Workshop. One is the Redemptor Dreadnought, which is actually, I think it was their first painting tutorial they put online, and it's super good. And the other one was the Imperial Knight tutorial, which I used for my House Terran Knight. Both really, really handy tutorials, and I think effectively I'm just going to follow that, scale it up a bit. Yeah, we're going to need the hairdryer again. I'm sorry again, folks. Luckily, these things are monsters. My missus is GHDs, so it doesn't take too long. Ooh. Plenty of give. I think I'm going to need some more glue. I've gone through so many tubes of this stuff. I mean, after I've done this, the only thing left is the shoulder-mounted laser blasters. Although there are two of them, and they are huge. So groovy. Right, now we move on to the Moderati and the Princeps. It's going to need some I don't know about you, but one of the surprising things to me was just how, I guess, small the interior of the cockpit is. I think when I imagine Titans, I always imagined the bridge looking like something from Star Trek. You know? Huge, big, open Star Trek base. But I mean, of course, in model terms, they can't do that. But I would be curious to know if that, like, which is more accurate, how I imagined it. Is that how the actual bridge of a Titan looks, or is this the accurate way, where it's a tiny little cockpit with a couple of servitor-like guys built into it? That's better. Oh, sorry, I'm doing it off camera. So he's got 1 foot on, 1 foot off. It might be an idea to leave him off as well. Although again, I'm probably just going to use like a dry brushing kind of technique to paint him. But then getting the floor dry brush is going to be a nightmare. I think I really do not like using sub-assemblies if I don't need to, but I think I'm going to have to. Sadly. Why is that not going in there? Come on. That's meant to sit in there, isn't it? And then rest on his chair. But it's not working. I think this might be another heat it. Oh no, there we go. Nice. I have to come up with a name for this guy. I thought that was a part of it, but no, that is just to be snipped away. That's me being guilty of being too precise again. You're like, again, mate, no one's gonna be seeing this too close. It's gonna need a bit of dab of glue in there. There he is. Again, mold lines that no one's ever going to see. I always see that funny in, like, if you post online and someone's like, hey, what do you think of my miniatures? And he's left the mold lines on, and like the entire internet like just throws so much hate. Oh my God, the mold lines, get rid of the mold lines. How could you not get rid of them? Unless you're entering painting competitions, it doesn't freaking matter. Like, you're not going to see them. You're not going to see them at a distance. Incidentally, same with gun barrels. Like, and I scrape mold lines and I drill out my gun barrels now. But like, you're not going to see it on a table. If you're painting for the table, you don't need to do it. Don't worry about it. Don't let people guilt you into thinking that you've done something wrong. So, he sits in there. And then you've got left and right. which I think they're actually the same. Are they identical? Yeah, oh, that's a shame. How do they fit in? Oh dear. Oh, there we go. That's going to be a nightmare to get them in there. I think we need tweezers or something. Let's take him out for now. There you go. I think I'm going to glue them in. That's them in there. Right, moment of truth then. You see that? Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I think we might need a bit of hair drying just to open that up a bit so that it sits a bit more flush. That's so freaking cool. Or maybe it's a bit at the back there that's doing that. That's where it is there. There you go. Yeah. And then these are just the shields. They actually go on the Titan, the torso, but they're gonna have to be they're gonna have to be left off for painting at the moment. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to get these transfers that I bought from Japan. Because it's got the actual Legio Praesagius Pegasus for these tilting shields. Because Games Workshop never made. Rather unsurprisingly, they never made 40k Warlord size Titans for Legio Praesagius, you know? It's a bit niche even for them. But, you know, the free market provides. And they weren't too expensive. They weren't cheap. I think he was charging like £10 a sheet or something. I got like 5 sheets just to make it worthwhile. It came to like $60 or something. The banner, however, the banner was a bit on the pricey side, I'll be honest. For what it is. I'm sure he's got like a way of pumping these things out. He shows up in the Titan Owners Club quite a lot. So he must make a pretty good killing. But, you know, they look great. Like, there's no denying that they look great. So it's got like a crotch banner that hangs underneath between the legs. And then an extra banner for each of the gun arms. And they're on faux leather, I think it is. So they look great. They do look cool. And he's allowed me to customize them slightly. He's, you know, you put the name of the Titan on there. I am tempted to show you the picture. If I had my iPad, I might have shown you it. But I think I'll wait until it arrives and I can stick it in another video or something. Yeah, so it does look very, very cool. A bit like this guy, except for that gap. That's annoying. But, like I said, I think with a bit of... But it's like when you used to play with Legos as a kid, you know, you put them inside your vehicle and they'll just flop around. I think with a bit of heat, that'll sit a bit more right. I think it's this gap here that's done it, isn't it, really? It's a shame. Right, let's see if I can fix that, I suppose. But I will do that off camera because you don't want to see me messing around with a hairdryer for ages. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. I appreciate that. We will, especially as I'm trying to get back to doing more regular videos. I will get the Titus one uploaded as well, maybe tomorrow or something. So, thank you. Good morning. Have a great day. Wish me luck in my tournament. And we will see you later. Bye-bye.